I was really happy when I left Indonesia early and they went on to win without me, you know. Then they come to the Alameda house, everybody is like on their deathbed, and you know, it's such a weird like flip, you know. I was happy they were able to bounce back after a rough week.
I'm just saying the last week was a chaos.
I understand. Let's remember.
It was the worst week of my life. I'm willing to say that far. Worst week of my life.
Flight here was pretty chill. Had some nice jasmine tea.
We scrimmed right before the tournament. It wasn't good. Like, nothing that happened in the week from Indonesia was good. We go to the boot camp and everyone got the plague.
Our tour was still really sick when we got here. He didn't feel good until the very first day of the tournament. And so, yeah, we played scrims and our tour was still basically catatonic.
Scrims went to scrims, the practice before the tournament, we lost every single game.
Tried out a lot of things in the first day of scrims and it didn't go so well.
We were coming off a bad week, so we sort of went into the tournament and we just had to basically trust ourselves going into that first day that we were better than the team that had been struggling the last 10 days or so.
Geniuses just overwhelmed BJJ Thunder, who came so close to beating Geniuses this time around in the best of one, but it wasn't good enough.
Going into the start of groups, we had the hardest matches first. Getting that VG Thunder game out of the way, it was like not a clean game from us at all. But you know, we rallied, we got it back together, and we finished like strong and won that game. And that gave everybody a boost.
I want boys to TP here and run like this, because we see them all here. This void TP here is game winning.
I think we were lucky to play those guys first because we felt like they were pretty nervous against us, you could say. Like, in that way, I thought it was good for us to start against them.
Solo is away from the initiation. Arteezy, he jumped in for the storm once again. There is just no fun for this Phantom Lancer, and this may just be it right now.
It was kind of a rough loss, but the biggest thing is that we saw a lot of the mistakes we made in the game.
They're just a bit faster than a normal team, I think. So when you do make these mistakes, you know, it costs you harder.
We messed up our game, and then day 2, we talked about how we're just gonna like delete everything.
After the Virtus Pro game, I think we won 4 straight.
Just immediately gets jumped on. Tavo's got to save him, but he's trapped in by the brambles. Oh no!
We beat Pain quite easily. We were very confident for Secret. We kind of steamrolled them as well.
Picked it up, oh no! No! Secret! They just lost this fight in a bad way!
Effect, you know, they hadn't won a game yet, so we were pretty confident against them.
The high ground, they're going to be able to get to the stun. Fiend's Grip goes down, but now Fear's going to stop that. Fiend's Grip to BKB.
And then we play IG, and that was probably like the hardest game.
It was probably the furthest behind we've been and still like been able to come back.
And this is full retreat for Invictus Gaming. They cannot repel firepower of EG's magnitude, but they're going in deep. They want the big prize.
We had to play Mineski the last day, and if we won, we'd be like top seed.
That team was a lot better than I think we thought on paper. We prepped for them, but they had some interesting ideas about the game that we weren't quite like savvy to yet.
Time dilation. Samael needs to try and get out of this one, but he jumps for it now. Continue to go for the kill, and that should be the end of the game right here.
One, two, three, go. Sit down.
Just sit down and be relaxed, and when they give the command, they want you to give a thumbs up. Either 2 hands, 1 hand, doesn't matter. Just
Every tournament you got required media, required this, required that, and somehow every day it starts off with I'm not doing this, and you know they like to think it's their little game, but you know I'm a man trying to do my job here. We always get through it, and they all end up having fun when we go do this stuff.
I'll pick up the phone.
What is this?
I'm gonna pick up the phone.
Go.
That was so fun.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay.
Good see you, Eva. Yes. Next. This guy.
Oh no!
Go! Check! Come on, Smile! you dribble, if you hold the ball, you can't dribble again.
What do you mean? I didn't dribble.
You went boom, hold, boom, hold.
I think I'm kind of a mix of MJ, LeBron, Kobe, and Steph. I think it's natural. Pretty much everything I do is natural. Played my first basketball game ever, dropped a 30.
Blinks into the back line. He's focusing on faith, not allowing anything. So Malwell, it doesn't really compute into anything else. They've lost their entire top right. And Kaka calls it. This series for Evil Genius to eliminate Newbie from DAC 2018.
We had to go into the breakout stage for the playoffs, which fortunately finishing third seed, we got to pick our opponent, and we got to pick Newbie, which we've been really strong versus that team. Even though they perform well outside of playing us, we keep beating them. Coming out of that, we were really confident, and we were excited to play LGD.
So out of the 6 Chinese teams participating in DAC, which one do you think is the strongest?
I think LGD.
Their tier 4s are in trouble. Can't quite get the finish. Samus wants to go back in and get it done. With the BKB. Right clicks and rips apart Artusi. Crit.
Like the game was pretty intense. It was a super close game.
We made small mistakes, very costly mistakes, and then we actually let them back into the game that it almost shouldn't be possible.
I was quite dissatisfied with how the team played versus LGD. I thought we learned quite a bit from those games, but I do think right after we lost, we had a BO1 versus Virtus Pro.
And we had a really long win streak against VP. It had kind of become this big public thing. They made this change. They swapped in Roger for Lil, and now they play really strong against us.
That is the cleanup right there. Evil Geniuses lose the fight outside of the Roshan pit, and as you said, it feels like the last hurrah.
We're going to have plenty of times to meet them between now and TI, and what matters most is that we are ready to beat them at TI. I've never been more proud about how we're taking losses. After every loss, you have to talk the team into believing in themselves again. And right now, the guys, I've never seen them like this before, where they're all just hardwired right now to get back there and do it and fix their mistakes. So we're going on break now. We're going to go back home, have our first real long home trip of the season. We won't practice, and hopefully people will be able to really refuel their batteries before we go on this last stretch. If all the stars have aligned and we've done our jobs, we'll be back in the top 8 in DPC and on our road to TI.